Today we'll be talking about Anthropology, Free People, and Urban Outfitters. They are all under one company, and they were found by a guy named Dick Hayne in the 1970s, and then it split off. So first they were Free People, and this all came out of Philadelphia. They were initially Free People, then they went to Urban Outfitters, and then they developed Free People as a wholesale line. And then out of all that, Anthropology came out. So each one, Gigi just fell off a cupboard. What a little butt nugget. So each one of them has like a different feel, a different audience a little bit, and different price points. So Urban Outfitters is probably the least expensive out of all of them. And they are more edgy, dark, kind of, they have more retro stuff. They've been called like, what is it called? Like hipster chic or hipster boho. They're kind of more grungy and, like I said, more affordable. They just have a different feel, you know? Whereas Free People is totally like gypsy chic. So remember those words that I'm using. Those are good things to put in your description and in your titles and stuff. But Free People just being more into a younger audience, very kind of flower child, freestyle, like I said, gypsy, chic, bohemian hipster, and they're just more brighter and happier and free-flowing, whereas Urban Outfitters is just a little bit more darker and edgy, modern, I would say, just kind of modern with a lot of retro type stuff. It's where I found my really cool Nintendo sweater and stuff like that. Now, Anthropology, on the other hand, is the most expensive out of all of them. And Free People, they're a wholesale line. So they are sold through boutiques. They have their own storefronts. They are carried by higher end department stores. And let's see, like Nordstrom's. I don't know on the East Coast. You guys probably know who they're carried by. And then, so anyway, Anthropology is aimed at more a older woman, whereas Free People and Urban Outfitters is aiming at a gal in their 20s. Anthro is a little bit more sophisticated, so they target more 30 and up. And, you know, people with a bigger wallet, because they're the most expensive. Although, I gotta tell you, there is a Free People line of clothing that is off the charts expensive, and I'll show you guys that stuff. But anyway, so towards a woman that's more mature, worldly, they have a lot of ethnic and crafty influences, more ladylike and exotic. Keywords, don't forget the keywords. Bohemian, elegant. There's a lot of elegant feminine pieces, just very womanly. Like there's just so many gorgeous pieces where you feel like an angel in them, you know. So those are the three brands. So we'll start with the easiest one, and that's Free People. And the reason that's the easiest one, because there's just Free People. Those are the labels, Free People. Whereas Anthropology has like hundreds of different labels. Free People has one. However, they have different lines, which we'll talk about. Okay. So let's get started. So here are some vintage Free People tags. There are the original Free People tags. So anything you see that looks like this is from when they first launched, okay? Then we're going to move to what's current. Currently, the tags, where is it? There it is, look like this. And they're a little bigger than than the ones they used to have. So a while ago, they were doing these tags. So they're kind of smaller, as you can see. And then Poof started using the same tag size and look. So they basically went up in size. So this is the older one. I'll show you the comparison. Hold on. Old, new. So now they're a bit bigger and you can spot them easily. Then let's move on to some of their specialty lines, and I'll cover exactly all of the specialty lines that they had. But the new one that's really cool right now is called the New Romantics. I love this one, but it'll always have the Free People signature on the bottom, so it's not like you have to remember, oh, New Romantics is Free People. I really like when they had these tags. It was a very cute line of clothing. This is a slightly older one as well. One of their lines that is kind of lower end is called Free People Beach. I find their clothing to be less expensive and more affordable. They also have a line, they have a line called Intimately. And those are all of the intimates, you know, little nighties and stuff you wear under clothing. So I like that one as well. And then they had different movements, like this was one that sold at Urban Outfitters, FP leggings. They went through a phase where they had that type of stuff. So here we have, I wanted to show you all of the exclusive FP labels. Shop the New Romantics, so just gives you a link to go there directly, but we're not going to go in there. If you want to, you can check it out yourself. But they had the New Romantics, FP1, FPX, that one launched in 2013, and it was something with love, FPX or love or something like that. FP Collection, which is shoes. They have FP Movement, We the Free. You might have seen We the Free labels. It's also Free People. FP Beach, which is what I showed you. Vintage Loves, very, if you ever find anything from this, it goes for a lot of money. Just because the items are extremely limited, special editions. And yeah, so those are that. Then I want to take you actually over to and show you the limited edition dresses, because they are beautiful. And here they are. They go for a lot of money. And on the resale, in the resale world, they go for a lot as well. So they hold their value just because they're limited edition. People do look for those dresses, and these are the ones that are currently available. Then they'll come out with new ones, and people are going to be looking for the ones here, and they're only available through eBay, the RealReal, and all those places. So keep an eye out on that as well. And then I'm going to take you to the labels. So actually, I want to show you this store. Hold on. It's called Anthropology Urban Outfitters and Free People Label Resource. And this site will really help you clarify what is and isn't Anthropology and what the labels look like. And we'll be using this website to show you Anthro Brands, Urban Outfitters, and I'm going to show you Free People. I'll make sure to link this website in the description, but here's the name. So let's go to Free People labels. And outside of what I showed you, just quickly look these over. If you see these, pick these up. Pending they're in good condition, they're stylish, they're quality, yada, yada, yada. But sometimes, I remember one time a girl asked me, oh, this says Free People, but it's not the metal tag. Well, no, they had a lot of different tags that they went through. The metal one is what's currently selling. It's popular, but they went through a lot of different tags. Check this out. See the one I told you about, the original? I had something from this one. Free people, free people. That one's cool. Free people. Lots and lots of variety. So I showed you FP Beach intimately. I have some stuff from We the Free. I did not. That was one where when I first started reselling, I did not know that We the Free was associated with Free People. I had no idea. I probably sold stuff because I picked up a lot of it when I was in Columbus, Ohio. Probably sold it for like freaking nothing. Ah! We the Free. So that's Free People for you. Now that we're done with that, we'll move on to Urban Outfitters. So let's quickly go over Urban Outfitters. And I say quickly because for the most part, from a resale perspective, Urban Outfitters does not do as well as Anthropology and Free People. So much so that I even stopped pursuing Urban Outfitters unless it's a really high quality, fashionable type item. But it just doesn't do that good in the resale market on Poshmark. I have no idea how it does on eBay and other places, but that's that. So these are the most common brands, clothing brands you will find, and then I'll show you where to look up all of the brands that Urban Outfitters carries. So character hero, you can see the what the tag looks like here. Coincidence and Chance is a frequent brand that I come across. D Collection, kind of a funky, someone drew it on a napkin type label. This is their house brand. Ecote, Ecote, Echo, I don't know, but that's their house brand. I lots and lots of things from this one. Heavenly, another pretty little birdie. I have a thing for birdies. Henna, I really like anything from the Henna brand. Kimchi Blue is really popular as well. They do a lot of dresses, summer dresses. I think I have like 5 or 6 that I'm trying to sell and they're just not selling. Kimchi Blue, Kimchi and Blue, Kimchi Blue. You'll come across a different one. Luxe, I showed you guys a jacket from Luxe I got recently. It's a not exclusive to Urban Outfitters, but if it is from Urban Outfitters, it's going to have the 66170 RN number. Right here is what it looks like. Me and You, not as frequent, but you'll come across Me and You. Pins and Needles, that's another very frequent item you'll come across. Silence and Noise, very, very popular. Lots of Silence and Noise. Sparkle and Fade. I like Sparkle and Fade probably more than the other ones. They have nice things. Staring at Stars. Staring at Stars to me is the one that people mistake the most. They think it's from Anthropology, but it's really from Urban Outfitters. The most mistaken brand, mismarked items on Poshmark is Staring at Stars. This Pearl, here's another one. Urban Renewal, Urban Outfitters, easy to remember. And Where the Wild Things Are. Cute, cute. Then, of course, if you're in doubt, go on to the Urban Outfitter website, go to their brand page. Oh, the one thing that resource website did not have is BDG. BDG is another house brand exclusive to Urban Outfitters, and BDG, the cigarette pants do really well. I always sell those fairly quickly. BDG cigarette pants. They're the skinny type pant and mostly the solid colors. The patterns don't sell that well. Although I sold this zebra one for like $30-something, which was cool. I got them for like $6.99 on sale, but I got, sold them for $30 bucks. So anyway, Urban Outfitters carries a lot of stuff. First, they carry house stuff. They carry little novelty toys and doodads and books and little makeup things. So try to get more familiar with just the clothing brands. Make yourself a list if you need to, but here are all the brands. They do carry BB Dakota. I know there's a lot that I come across BB Dakota frequently, but I never know if it's something that was carried by Urban Outfitters or not. Well, let's see. Cedar and Stone. I like Cedar and Stone. Dash. They sell Doc Martens. Nothing else kind of. Fig and Moss. I've seen Fig and Moss items. Glamorous. I have several items from Glamorous. I like that brand a lot. And so just look through it and scan it and just remember the difference between the style items, because you know, you'll look at the fabric tag, it'll say 66170, and you're like, is it Anthropologie? Is it Urban Outfitters? Look at the style. Probably once you get familiar with the style, you'll be able to quickly identify where it comes from. Remember, Urban Outfitters is more darker, edgy, modern, kind of that urban chic, hipster, a lot of retro items. So, and whereas Anthropologie is the romantic, the elegant, the bohemian, the worldly, the ethnic. So you'll get it. You'll get it. JOA, Jensen. I carry some Kenzie. That's why maybe I have a thing for Kenzie. Some people don't even like it. Nothing else. Oh, Mokuyobi. I like that one. Nomad. Obey. Paul and Joe, Patagonia. Oh, Pendleton. Woo woo, Pendleton. Quicksilver. You can see a lot of sporty brands. They'll carry some Reebok items, Adidas stuff. Sam Edelman shoes they'll carry. Stussy. You guys remember Stussy? Like when I was in junior high and high school, Stussy. Well, more junior high. Stussy was big. Man. Oh, that was a big stuff. Tuk, T-U-K. Another good one. Carry North Face. La 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 la. So you can look at this on your own, but that's Urban Outfitters for you. Where am I? So now on to Anthropology. I love Anthropology. I just love it. I want to live in the store. I want to have everything from that store in my house. It's just so pretty. It makes me feel very feminine and free. It's really crazy, and so a lot of people feel that way, and that's why Anthropologie items are very resellable, reseller friendly, as I call it, because they do fetch a good profit. Now, we will go on to the website and look through all of the tags, but I wanted to show you some of my favorite brands. I brought them out of my little inventory room, and just the more repetition on brands, I think the better. But one of my faves is called Sunday in Brooklyn. And this is the tag. Remember that tag. And they have extremely well structured pieces. This is a multi-fabric top. a zipper on the back. It's a square piece. I love it. I mean, it's like perfect with everything. Another brand I like is called Postcard. That one you'll remember easily because it looks like a postcard. Lots of cute, soft, kind of shabby chic pieces from them. Then we have Lilka. This is what it looks like. A little more hippie, ethnic. I have this cute little peplum sweater. Actually, that's new with tags that I got that I'm selling. Another brand. I like this one because that one is truly like bohemian. It's Meadow Rue. That's a great, it resells well. The pieces are really adorable. Then the best sweater, I have two favorite sweater brands at Anthropology. This is one of them. This is called Angels of the North. Is it Angel? Yeah, Angel of the North. And all their sweaters are just cute. I have not seen an Angel of the North sweater that isn't adorable. I just haven't. Surprise me. Find something. Another one, they have a lot of really delicate pieces. It's called Knitted and Knotted. And it's very, you'll remember this one, little metal tag, Knitted and Knotted. There's only one other company that uses this kind of metal tag. So you should be able to recognize it fairly quickly. And they're always really thin. I mean, they make other things too, but a lot of really thin pieces. This is a popular one. It's more expensive one, Holding Horses. I remember when I first started seeing them, I'm all, really? Is this like some country thing? And does that sell at Anthro? But remember, Holding Horses, they keep their value as well. Then we have Rosame Nitra, more rare, not very limited items, but also really cute and feminine. See how it has all these little touches to make your physique look a little more girly and youthful. Leaf Notes. Leaf Notes is a common one as well. Where's the tag? Tagaroo. Leaf Notes. And my second favorite, so I told you, Angel of the North, #1 sweater brand that I love. And Guinevere is my second favorite brand. All Guinevere sweaters are gorgeous. They're the more boho, bohemian with lots of colors, and they're just super cute. Then we have, oh, Sunday in Brooklyn. I already showed you Sunday in Brooklyn. I don't know why I brought it out. 1 September, the OS. Whenever you see that little OS, you know it's 1 September. Once again, lots of girly, feminine, beautiful items that they make. And then we have, oh, I brought duplicates. Another Knitted and Knotted sweater. And this has a little more substance, but you see how pretty and feminine it is? Lace with crochet finishes. Look at this little cute opening. Gorgeous! So you see there's like a trend, right? And what they look like. And the more you look over the website and kind of look at the pieces, the more quickly you'll be able to spot them. Then I wanted to show you the standard tag. You'll recognize the font. When I start looking at the tag, oh yeah, that's Anthropology. But this is what you want to identify. This one actually says imported for Anthropology. And it has the RN number. Sometimes there are items that will not have the 66170 number. The collaborations sometimes have and sometimes don't. So it's kind of hard. You're going to have to do your research, but I'll give you some. Well, actually, let me tell you some of the collaborations in the past. And the collaborations sell really well. So if you come across a collaboration piece for Anthro, you need to get it. So Tracy Reese, that was a very popular one, continues to resell well. Peter Sohm, S-O-M, Peter Sohm. Colette Dinnigan, that was a beautiful one. Mara Hoffman, Leah Kabady, that was a really pretty one. Byron Lars, you guys might know that one. Chris Benz, and Kit Kemp. You guys remember Kit Kemp? And Claire Desjardins. That was a beautiful one too. And I don't know which ones had the made for Anthro, but get comfortable with that type of stuff. So now we're going to go onto the website and look at all of the tags, and make sure you bookmark that website. It's the same one that we looked at, Free People and Urban Outfitters. One more brand I wanted to show you, and this one actually is not listed on this website, so I'm going to submit it to this gal who puts on this page, and that's Burlap. Check out this dress. It is so cute. Oh my god. Adorable. And Burlap sells at Anthropology. And also, I am on the hunt to find these shoes. I think there are other colors that were released. This is by a brand called Drew. And check this out. They unhook. Not that I really ever need to unhook them, but they do. And they're these cute flats, and I live in these. And they're starting to get really, really worn out, and I want to find more pairs. And I am a size 8.5. I think these are 8.5. And this 39, I gotta check if that's 8.5. But if you ever find these, if you come across someone that has them for sale, I'm really looking for more pairs of these shoes. I live in them during the summer. I love them, and I get so many compliments on them. So anyway, let's get started. So this is the website I was showing you guys, Shujo Manja. I don't know, but they have a lot of the brands. I can't say it's all inclusive, but it has majority of what you're going to come across when you go sourcing. So, as mentioned, Angel of the North. This is what the tag looks like. It always has like this Victorian, even the other ones, a Victorian etched out type pretty design, easily spottable. Anthropology, very rare that you will come across this. They do not produce clothing under this brand anymore. Ollie Hop. They also have other labels that are not displayed here, but Ollie Hop is always on the label. Anna Sui for Anthro. That was another collaboration. I mentioned other collaborations. Here's Anna Sui. We have Aquarius. Pretty rare. I don't know if you'll ever stumble upon it. Ballerina. And that one is tricky because you'll just see a tag of a ballerina, a picture of a ballerina. It'll never say ballerina. And there's this other ballerina. So just if you see ballerinas, check the fabric tag quickly, see if it says 66170. Bela Jane, haven't come across that one yet. Bicachea, have not come across Bicachea. Then we have Butterfly. I've come across Butterfly, and I love the tags themselves. I just want to like cut them out and put them on a purse or something. Canary. They have little tiny canaries. Not to be mistaken with Yellowbird if the canaries are colored. Cartonnier, a French sounding name, and yeah, there's a few that are French names, so chances are if it's something French, check the tag number really quick. Might be Anthro. Charlie and Robin. I've sold several items from Charlie and Robin. This is CK. Here, I'll show you. Sekeer, C-K-E-E-R, Sekeer. And sometimes it's hard to recognize because they don't have the word "see here" on here. Just this funky color thing with birds and stuff and that one. So this was a pretty one. But just, you know, look them over several times because nowhere does it say "see here." Clover. I don't think they produce clothes anymore. It might be an old one. Coquille. That's another French one. Cross stitch heart. You'll remember that one. Cross stitch heart. Daughters of the Liberation. They produce a lot of cool pants. I've sold pants from them before. They sell pretty well. I mean, they have other stuff, but the pants are really cute. Diletta. Diletta. Lots of blouses from Diletta. Look at all the pretty tags. Diletta. Diane Pieri. I have not encountered a lot of that. Edme and Essayite. I don't know. We said we're going to learn pronunciations. That's one I can't figure out. Esite, Esite, Esult. I don't know. I have no idea. That's the only one I really don't know. 11ses. That is a really well-made clothing line. They're always like just very good fabric, well-structured. I mean, jackets from them, skirts, pants. They've got their crap together. Like, if you come across it, you'll know it. I mean, one time I literally saw a skirt. This thrift shop had like stuff from Anthro. They had this little thing. And I was going through and I found a skirt. I'm like, oh, that's 11ses for sure. And I looked at the tag. Yep, it was. It was. Yes, I did buy the skirt. I have it for sale. Eloise. Eloise. Sometimes they just have the little funky E. So remember, it's Eloise. Etitois. Etitois. It's another brand. I don't come across that one at all. Far Away from Clothes. That's actually one that I've mistaken for Urban Outfitters before because the style is more in line with Urban Outfitters, but Far Away from Clothes. Featherbone. Faye. I like Faye. And once again, this is one of those inconspicuous ones because you will not see the words Faye on certain tags. Some say Faye, some don't, or just have this little plant thingy. Field and Flower, Field Flower. Fleurette, Fleurette, another French name. And then we have Florite, Florite. I really like things. Very common to find things from Florite. Here's another tag. Girls from Savoy. Oh yeah, them girls from Savoy. You know what I mean? From Lake, where's that? Lake Geneva. It's like in that location in France. It's a place in France. It's a territory in France. Between a big lake and Daphne, and it's a place, and I always said that girls from Savoy are kind of wild. So I always remember that tag for that reason. Juliana Leia. I wish there was more clothing from her. I've never come across anything from this brand. Gregory, another one, did not, and I know Gregory sells in other places, but I haven't come across. Here's Guinevere. I showed you my Guinevere tags. This is my second favorite sweater brand, Guinevere. HD in Paris. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. That's how I pronounce it, and that's how I remember it's from Anthropology, because if I read the tag, hey, 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 it's Anthro. All right. Hi there. From Karen Walker. Hi there. Hi there, I'm from Anthro. That's another way to remember it. Holding Horses. That is what I showed you. It has a little kind of a country flair, but obviously not all the pieces. But if I'm holding horses, I'm holding Anthropology. That's how I try to remember. HWR monogram. When you are selling this, put HWR and the name monogram in your description, because people search for it sometimes by monogram. This is known as monogram. Some people don't know it's called monogram and they search for HWR, but have both just to be on the safe side. Ghidra or Idra, I call it Ghidra because that looks like a G to me, but it is Idra. But I'm like, oh, it's Ghidra. It's Ghidra. So it is Ghidra. All right, it's Idra, but you know what I mean. IPSA, IPSA, IPSA. Yeah, I don't know. IPSA. Let's call it IPSA because that sounds fun. Isabella Sinclair, not very common to find her items. Ivco, if you don't like my pronunciations, just stick it. Ivco, Ivco, Uvco, Ivco, Weofco. Okay, Ivco. Knitted Dove. Knitted Dove is one that you probably will encounter frequently as well, just like Knitted and Knotted. Here we have Knitted and Knotted. Laurite Lane. That is a very classy line. Don't come across it very often at all. Leaf Notes. I showed you guys Leaf Notes. Leaf Notes. And Leif Stotier. Leif Stotier. Leif Stotier. Leif Stotier. Leif Stotier. Leif Stotier. I don't know. Use your imagination. But this is a brand that is exclusive to Anthropologie, but they did not sell at Anthropologie for the longest time. They distributed through like Bergmandolf, you know, all those high-end department stores. And then they finally made a decision like in 2009, 2010 to distribute through Anthropologie. That is a very nice brand and it resells really well. So if you find it, pick it up. Leah Molly, Lil, Lily's Closet, and Lilka. That's a lot of Lils. Lil, Leah Molly, Lily's Closet, Lilka. So if it starts with an L-I, look at the tag, it might be Anthropologie. Oh, and Life! Look at that. I totally forgot about that one. Another L-I. Little Yellow Button. Don't be mistaken with the Little Yellow Bird or the Yellow Bird, but Little Yellow Button. Madchen. I think of IKEA when I see this for obvious reasons, but Madchen. Made by Wee Lin. I like that label as well. Meave. I call it Meave. Some people call it Mave. You pick whichever one you like. Meave is easy for me to remember. Mave, not so much. Even though A is the second letter after M. But Mave, Meave, whatever. Very frequently found at thrift stores. Maple, never came across a maple. McGinn, never came across a McGinn. Meadow Rue, popular one. Very light, bohemian, romantic, shabby chic type line. I like it a lot. My first sweater I ever sold from Anthropologie through the whole reselling thing world was from Meadow Rue, so I'll always remember that one. Special brand to me. Mermaid, Moth. Moth is the most probably frequent one you encounter. I think the most sweaters I've ever found are from Moth. Some pieces don't sell well at all. Some of the nicer ones, the more fabric nuances it has, the more complicated the piece is, the better it's going to sell. If it's just a plain old brown Moth sweater, don't even pick it up. Chances are you're not going to sell it for more than like $6, $7. But the more embellishments, the more complex type designs, it's going to sell a lot better. Moulinetzer. That's another French one. A very beautiful line of clothing. A lot of light fabrics, beautiful dresses. Sells pretty good. Natalie Lute. I don't know. Never seen that one before. Odile, lots of skirts. A lot of skirts from Odile in thrift stores. I stopped picking up some of the plainer ones because once again, the more plainer it is, the harder it is to sell. I had a hard time selling these skirts. So I'll leave it up to you whether you're going to pick stuff up from them or not. 1 September. I talked to you guys about 1 September. 1 September also sells in department stores. This is the most common tag you will find that sells through Anthro. These ones I find are sometimes ones that sell at the department store and Anthro. Paper crane, paper crane. Paper locket. Yeah, a lot of people search. They're like, well, I think it's from Anthro, but it has like, you know, the tag was ripped off. No, that is the tag. It's just a paper locket. Just imagine you're in school and you take paper and you try to put it together. You know how we fold things and we pass notes in class to someone that we are infatuated with. That's how I try to remember. And I don't know if it makes any sense to you. Paper locket. Pilcrow and a letterpress sells really, really well on POSHMARK. If I find it, I sell it very quickly. It has an interesting following. Pilcrow and a letterpress. Then we have Pinkerton. Have not come across a lot of Pinkerton. If I might have, because this looks familiar, but I didn't know it was Anthropology. Pinkerton. Porridge. I like porridge a lot. Really pretty, feminine, floral type clothing. Portrait of a girl. Have not come across that one either, but be familiar with the tag. Postmark. I love postmark items. I showed you this tag already. Pure Plus Good. That is a brand that is mistaken with Urban Outfitters as well. Mistagged several times. I even sent messages to some people who had like a bunch of Pure and Good in their closet and it was marked Urban Outfitters. I'm like, girl, that's Anthro. Change that. Rebecca Masols for Anthropology, another collaboration. Rick Rack, frequently found in thrift stores. Rick Rack. This is, I think, the most the one that has the most produced items, because like these ones I don't find very often, but this one, you see the little orange squiggle, Rick Rack. Robin. Rosie Nera, I showed you that one. Saria. Saria or Saria. Either way, it's Anthropology. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What do we like? The weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Sitwell. Sitwell, man, that is one. I think it's older. I don't think they make clothes through Anthro. They don't sell through Anthro anymore. But that's another one that sold really quick the one time I found it. No idea. No idea what the reason behind that is. Sleeping on Snow. Lots of beautiful sweaters from Sleeping on Snow, a popular one. Snack. Sparrow. So Sparrow is, along with Moth, Sparrow is the second most popular sweater brand. It goes along with the same thing I said, Moth. The simpler the sweater, the less you're going to get, the more complicated, more unique, the more boho, the more money you're going to get for it. And there's a lot of Sparrow sweaters that came out that are just gorgeous and people are looking for them. So sometimes if you're interested, when you go on Poshmark, search ISO, in search of ISO Sparrow, and see who's looking for what. You might just have it and you might be able to sell it for a lot of money. Sparrow. Sunday in Brooklyn, I showed you that one. Tabitha. Tabitha has a lot of simpler items too, and I used to pick up Tabitha a lot, but I really don't anymore. It doesn't sell that well for me at all. Take on who? Take on who? Take on who? All I know is a cat in a hat. That's all I remember on that one. Don't remember anything. I don't. Go figure that one out. Tiny. Tokyo map. Okay, so I found a while ago a Tokyo map sweater, and there was no fabric tag that said 66170, but I just knew it was from Anthro. I just knew it. The tag just looks like Anthro. So I brought the sweater home and I started Googling like streets, houses on a street, roads, maps, Chinese maps, Japanese maps. Just finally I found a Tokyo map, and it is from Anthro. I'm telling you, you'll be able to spot those Anthro tags. Vanessa, Virginia, only found a few. Viola, we love Vera. What comes around goes around. Very nice. And most of the time it will say for Anthropology on the tag, so it'll be easy. Yellowbird, remember there's a lot of birds. Robin, robin's nest, yellowbird, canary, lots of birds. Zahavale, Zahavali. Zuhavale, Zuhavali. Do not know, but I like this word a lot. Just, I like saying it. Zuhavale, Zuhavalo, Zuhavale, Zuhavaloa. I don't know. I probably can say it like 10 different times. And Zoe. So like I said, this is not an all-encompassing list, but 90% of the stuff you're going to find out there is on here. So remember this website, and then along with studying this website, go onto the Anthropology website and just go through the brands that are selling there. Just do it. Just get familiar with it. Just because the Anthro stuff has a great resale value. I think it resells much better on Poshmark than it does on eBay. And there are even times where I found some sweaters on eBay that I know would go for a lot more on Poshmark. And there's probably going to be times once I'm more familiar with eBay, I'll do that switcheroo. I'll know what's going on Poshmark. I'll buy some stuff on eBay and resell it for more. It's not going to happen often, but I see myself doing that. So that's that. And the one last reminder on Anthropology, Urban Outfitters, and Free People. Always remember, just because it's from there doesn't mean you're going to pick it up and get a lot of money. There's a lot of pieces from all those brands that will never sell for you. So don't make the mistake I did when I first started. Like a year and now several months ago, I got to count exactly when I started doing this. I used to pick up everything Anthro, Free People, and that stuff is still hanging in there. One of my little sub goals for the year is to just get rid of that stuff. I don't want to have it hanging around anymore. So maybe I'll lot it up on eBay or just go really, really cheap on Poshmark. I don't know, but I got to get rid of it. So just kind of rule of thumb, look at the style, look at the fabric content. Is it really nice material? And remember, the more complicated and busy an item is, chances are it's going to have a better resale value. The more mixed media, the more mixed fabrics, the more elaborate bohemian type style it feels from Anthro, the better it's going to be. More colorful, better it's going to be versus one color. And then from the RN type, in case you're completely new to this, you can go to RN Lookup. So go into your Google, type in RN lookup. It's going to take you to the Federal Trade Commission website, and you type in the RN number. When you type in 66170, it will always come out Urban Outfitters. So don't make the mistake of looking up and saying, oh, this is it's 66170 Urban Outfitters, so I'm going to market this as Urban Outfitters. Just remember, Urban Outfitters is the umbrella over Free People, Anthropology, all of that under one. So just in case you're new, remember that. And then also going along the lines of RN lookup. RN lookup is good for the mainstream items. Sometimes if it's a private label, some type of wholesale distributor, you're better off Googling the name versus looking up the RN number, because you're not going to find jack squat. And sometimes you'll find really nice clothes that just simply you can't find anything about it. Go into eBay, go into POSHMARK, go into whatever platform you're using, type in that name and see what comes up, what the people before you, what kind of research they've done before you spent a bunch of hours looking for something. That's another mistake I've done in the past, is I spent too much time looking up stuff, but if I only went onto POSHMARK and I typed in the name, stuff would pull up and people already done the work. That's another lesson. So greetings and salutations. Thank you for following me on this journey of my love, Anthro, Free People, Urban Outfitters. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is I'm going to call this another episode of FLIPOLOGY. Because remember, that's the name for the education on flipping clothes. FLIPOLOGY. Greetings and salutations. Bye.